Guys, welcome to this week's video. We're doing another reading wrap up. It's our April reading wrap up. We're just going to be talking and discussing all the books that I read in April and what I thought about them, all the vibes. So, yes, I'm excited. This one was good. I read a lot of good books in April and I will think about them forever. Sorry I didn't post last week. I took a little break for a week, but we're back and better than ever. I'm thinking I want to do some reading vlogs maybe in May because I feel like I haven't done one in a while. So we'll see if I do that. But for now, let's get into talking about all the books that I read in April. The first book I read, actually the first two books I read, they were kind of a little, I was doing a little tandem read. So I read two books in the beginning of April. And those two books were, of course, Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. Obviously, we continued the Throne of Glass series, and it did take me a while to get into these, I will say. So I wasn't as, specifically, Tower of Dawn, I wasn't as hooked, and it wasn't even, Chaol's point of view. I loved Chaol's point of view with Irene and, what was going on with them. It was, Nesrin's point of view was very slow and kind of boring in the beginning, and I was like, why are we watching her do this? I really wanted some action and some adventure, but I don't know, it was just very mundane and normal. And I'm glad it was a chiller book, because this book was very much about healing and growth and all that shit, which was good for this book and it made sense for this book. But I was a little bit bored in the beginning. But I did get into it, I will say, and I really did like this book. And then Empire of Storms, I was hooked the entire time. It was crazy. I love the gang. Aelin, my queen, I love her. I was hooked the entire time with this book, and I kind of liked going back and forth because there was always something new happening, and it was really fun to do the tandem read. I was a little nervous initially to go into it because it was 1,300 something pages because I was doing the tandem read, whatever. And I was like, dang, that's a lot. So I wasn't I was a little nervous going into it. But honestly, it was really fun, really easy, and I had a blast. It did take me a bit, but I felt okay with it taking me longer because I was reading two books. Overall, though, I rated Empire of Storms 4.75 and Tower of Dawn 4 stars. So really, really enjoyed these. Yeah, highly recommend doing the tandem read if you are reading these books. I liked it. May not be for everyone, but I enjoyed it. The next book I read was Destroy Me by Tarera Moffey. This is the novella for the Shatter Me series. It's the first novella, and this we're following Aaron Warner. And honestly, this made me like him more, I will say. It was very short, very sweet, but I got a lot of understanding for his character and why he thinks certain ways and how he feels about certain things, because initially I read Shatter Me 2 years ago, I believe, and then I was like, dang, I really don't understand why people like Aaron Warner. I don't understand. But then I reread Shatter Me this past year. I think it was last month, if I'm not mistaken, in March. Yeah, reread it, and I was like, still, I don't get it. What is happening? I don't understand the love for him. And then I literally it only took me to read, it only took me to read Destroy Me, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. And certain things that she was seeing, within her point of view, it was it looked bad on his part. But then when you're in his head, you're like, okay, I'm clocking it now. This makes sense. So yeah, I really liked that we got to see kind of his point of view and where his head was at and what he was thinking. I made some tea. So yeah, I did enjoy it. It was just a short little novella, so it didn't take me long to get through. Yeah, this is making me more excited to kind of get into the series. Overall, though, I rated it 3 stars. Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what happens within the rest of the series. The next book I read was Revolt by Samia Tasnim. This one I got an art copy of. It is actually coming out, I think, tomorrow. So it's not out quite yet. It's coming out May 5th. Well, it'll be out by the time I post this video. Yeah, it was the arc to her first book. It's kind of like a dystopian fantasy, and there's this princess. She is very sheltered, I will say, and she ends up getting kidnapped by this group, and she learns things that she was not aware of within the kingdom, and she has to decide to either help them and betray the kingdom, her parents, or to not help this group. So yeah, it's very interesting to see. I was really interested in the overall plot and where it would go. I will say I was a little bit confused on the time we were in. It's because it seemed not very modern day, but then there would be different aspects of it that would be talking about things from modern day times in the 20th century, and I would be a little bit confused because she lives in this kingdom in this fantasy world. But then there'd be talking about, I don't even know what specifically, but it would talk about things within like my real life that just didn't really go with the plot of the overall book. So that confused me a little bit. And it was a little bit repetitive with certain things, but overall I did enjoy it, and I was very interested in the plot, and there was like plot twists that I kind of like did guess, but it was like fun to see and kind of kept me on my toes, and I definitely will be reading the next book whenever that comes out. Overall though, I rated it 3 stars. I'm excited to kind of see where the series goes. The next book that I read in April was The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. It's either hit or miss for me with Abby Jimenez. I read Say You'll Remember Me, as you know. I feel like I've talked about this before, didn't like it. And then I read Just for Summer after that, loved it, 5 stars. So I wasn't really sure how this book was gonna go. It is boyfriend's best friend trope, so I was a little nervous going into it about how that would kind of go down, because I just like, I don't know, I feel like it would be kind of icky, and I don't know, I couldn't see myself kind of being on their side unless something really bad happened with the boyfriend. So I was a little nervous going into it, but I really did. I ate that shit up. I really liked the overall plot. I really liked Chris, the MMC, and their banter and their conversations were just so good, and the way he took care of her and did things for her, like acts of service to me is just like perfect. I think he was wonderful. I really honestly loved it, and I'm interested to see kind of how Mike's book is gonna go, because I've heard that his book is next, and he was the boyfriend, so I'm kind of interested to see how that's gonna go. I don't know how I feel about him though, so we'll see how I feel about his book. I don't know. But overall, I really, really did like The Night We Met, and I definitely will be continuing this series as we go on. I didn't think I would because of Say You'll Remember Me, but I liked it, so I kind of do want to continue after this point. So yeah, overall though, I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I binge read it, and I recommend. It's messy, but it's also entertaining and cute and all the things. The next book I read was Where the Crawdad Sings by Delia Owens. This is following Kaya, otherwise known as Marsh Girl, and we're kind of going in past and present timeline, and we're kind of seeing how those two things go together, and what kind of happens within that time. And we're following Kaya in the past timeline and kind of seeing how her day-to-day goes, like what has happened. And then in the present timeline, there's been a murder. Someone was murdered, and we're kind of solving the case about how he was murdered, who murdered him, all that stuff. And at the same time, these two timelines are merging together, and we get to kind of put the pieces together as we continue. And it's really fun. I really liked how it was written like that. We were learning things in the present timeline about the case overall, and then we were seeing things in the past timeline, and something would click that we would learn from the present timeline. It was super interesting, super fun to follow, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was so interesting, and I think I haven't watched the movie, so I definitely want to watch the movie sometime soon. But really enjoyed, highly recommend. Love me a mystery book. I don't know why I don't read a lot of thriller mystery books, because I really love them and I'm always hooked. I used to read them a lot when I was younger, but I'm definitely trying to get more into those, back into them in a way. So overall, rated this 4 stars, really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to watch the movie soon. And the next book I read was Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. Officially finished the Twisted series. Thank God. I have been working at the series for too long. It's almost been a year since I started it. I started Twisted Love in June of 2025, and it's May now, and I finally finished Twisted Lies. I really just, this overall series I didn't really enjoy. This one is definitely my favorite in the series, but it's still not like the best. This one we're following Stella and Christian, and we're kind of following their love story and learning things, and there's a lot of mysteries to solve and puzzle pieces and certain things. So yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it better than the rest. I think I liked Christian more because certain things that the other boys would do, like I hated Alex. Reese was okay. I don't really like a forbidden romance like kind of thing. And then Josh, he pissed me off. I loved him, and then he really pissed me off. So yeah, but I liked Christian. There were certain things where I was like, maybe not. So that's why I'm like iffy about it, but I still like, it was entertaining, and I did binge read it, and I read it really quick. But yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Overall though, I rated it 3.25 stars. I like this one the most, but would I recommend the series? No. I do want to read another series of hers because I've heard it's really good, so we'll see, because I've heard bad things about the Twisted series prior to going into it, but I don't think I've heard bad things about this other series that she's wrote. So we shall see, but 3.25 stars. Not my favorite series overall, but I'm glad I got through it and read it all. The next book I read, drumroll, Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Believe it or not, first off, this is 980 pages, and I finished it in 3 days. I was genuinely reading 300 pages a day because I was so hooked and so interested. I needed to know what happens. Like, I couldn't put it down. This is definitely my favorite book in the series. I loved it. I love Aylin. The things she's gone through are just heartbreaking. I love all these characters. Like, the whole group is just perfect to me, and I love them with my entire being. Like, they are my best friends, and this whole plot was just heartbreaking, and the things that happened and took place, the cover, amazing. Hands down my favorite in the series. I could go on and on and on about this amazing book, and yeah, I highly recommend this series. I loved it. I'm so sad I'm finished and it's over. I can't. But overall, I did rate it 5 stars. I'm obsessed. I will not stop thinking about this ever, and I will never move on. I already want to reread it. Like, especially like going into it, like knowing the things I do now, like all the foreshadowing and things built up throughout the book are, I'm just gonna be like, I didn't know at the time, but I know now. Anyway, 5 stars, amazing. I loved it. I loved it. And then the last book that I read in April was The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I was kind of iffy about it when I first started it, but I did for sure binge read it. I really loved them together, and there was like kind of a miscommunication, but I liked how it was handled, and I liked how he kind of went about things. So I enjoyed that, and he was really sweet to her, and she was really understanding of him, and I really enjoyed that overall. And I definitely binge read it, of course. So I'm back in my reading era, guys. I was in a slump at the beginning of this month, but we're back better than ever. Yeah, I really liked it. Overall, I rated it 4 stars. I loved the characters, and I'm excited to continue the series. So we'll see how I feel about the rest. These are all the books that I read in April. Definitely some really good reads in here, and I'm excited to kind of see what books I have in store for me in May. I feel like it's going to be a really good reading month. It's almost summer. I have a lot of summer fun reads I kind of want to get into. So yeah, that's all the books I read, and that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. All my bookish links are down below in the description, so if you want to check those out, you can. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.